Hello. Um, I know it's been a minute, but just always living is life and a whole bunch of turmoil and living. Well, currently I'm in New Orleans, waging war on just like everything that's wrong about America. This racism and just inhumane actions that exist throughout the nation, basically. Um, it's just really depresses me. It gets me down. I have my kids. This message is really for my kids, just to know, hey, I love you, and I'm basically trying to change the world for you because it needs somebody to address all the problems that we have over here. Um, I'm union electrician. I'm expecting that, my hall would be basically controlling my, or at least finding me jobs and so forth. I'm paying them my monthly dues and so forth. It's been since 2012, and it's just like, I'm paying this staffing agency to find me or get me to work, but it's not like that. I was basically come up to Local 60 and the way they operated. I was expecting my local to kind of be the same as far as handle my unemployment, file for it, and make sure I find work and I get to work and so forth. But it's just not like that. Um, the judicial system, just you expect certain things, especially with blacks. You know. That they would understand the hardships that we face throughout America, and for the most part, I'm just researching, and I'm looking up or trying to find answers, seek and ye shall find. And I've just found a plethora of atrocities that America has committed throughout its existence, repeatedly and over and over and over. And I'm just like, for the most part, being a Christian, it's just being humane. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And it's just really about being human. We all have issues, we all have problems. No one is, going through no far worse than I am and so forth. We could all, say, hey, what I got going on, and this and that, and impose, upon others and so forth. But this is the age of the bully and the age of enablers, people who don't confront situations or issues that really need to be changed. Also, this is the age to where they've started interventions, and that's basically what I'm trying to do as far as America. Understand that I grew up poor kid, Shreveport, Louisiana, from the Cooper Road. We used to have food stamps. My parents basically, my stepfather, my mother, tried to do their best, but in an effort to help them, I got out and I learned how to do for myself, be self-sufficient. And that's, I guess, the first level in Christianity is you got to know thyself. You got to know your limits, know your temperament, know your strengths and your weaknesses. Me, I've always had a temper. I consider myself the master of self-control because it hasn't been an issue since, I guess, my younger years. But yet and still, I do find myself getting enraged by certain things that happen. And like I said, here, my kids, like, my mine. But America doesn't treat it like that. It still seems like slavery type methods, and the problem is these baby mamas. A lot of times their issues is feelings. They're hurt. So they want you to hurt. And it's a back and forth childish immaturity that is condoned. And then the judicial system basically steps in and instigates. It doesn't solve the problems. And then I'm finding these judges and so forth. I have issues with females. I tick them off. For some reason, they think I'm supposed to be all baby, 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 and darling, and sweetheart, and dear, and so forth. Whereas I didn't grow up like that. I have 6 sisters, so a lot of the stuff I know, I used to see how they used to get me in trouble and not be accountable for their actions. And that's what I'm saying throughout the government. Even like say this judge, this female judge, she basically got upset that I didn't bow out. It wasn't that I did anything wrong. It wasn't that I committed any crimes or anything. And basically she put a restraining order on my kids. I can't see my kids, man, because I was calling, checking. I filed a report with the Child Protection Service, and idiots, man. It's just like these women ran systems. You can see the incompetence, and throughout, and it's just like enabled. You know, they are bullies, and the people who I guess back them are enablers because it's not making any of this life or any of this easier. I say, hey, I started out, as in my adulthood, I served, and I faced my fears. Yeah, I have a crazy fear of dying and so forth. But yet and still, as a man, it's like, we have certain responsibilities that are completely different than the female. And I just want to be acknowledged for that difference and so forth. And as far as my patronage, I've, like I say, served my country 10 years, Louisiana National Guard. I have pride in Louisiana Purchase and in Louisiana, period. But I acknowledge that we are far behind in society as far as, as a nation, as our education, as, all kind of different things that we are like close to last, and I really want us to do better. And I'm trying to move towards something better. But racism, and like I said, you got these people that haven't served the country, you know, haven't demonstrated facing their fears and so forth, and they're in leadership positions, and they're basically abusive. Power is corrupting, and we give these people power, and they're not balanced and checked, and that's my issue right now. As far as like say the police system, I say the cameras and all this, we got to police the police, and it's coming to the point where we're gonna have to police the judges, the judicial system. I'm seeing on YouTube channels, judges, hey, meet me in the back. Well, we'll fight it out. This guy in Florida, judge in Florida, called this guy out and punched him. You broke the law, man. Don't you understand what the law is? There's certain things first and foremost, certain posture. Like say, I just get in front of you, that's considered assault because it's just that's the letter of the law. And then if I do anything, their actions thereof, it's battery, and that's breaking the law. So we don't as civilians. Let's say we can't sue the judges. They have that little loophole that doesn't hold them accountable for their actions. We can't, you know. I guess whenever I reach out to different agencies that are responsible for checks and balances, they're an enabler. They're just basically giving these people leeway or whatever to do whatever they want. And like I said, one of the main issues is the blacks. You know, as far as looking at the racial problems, I first have to address the black on black crimes, throughout, our existence after slavery and this and that and so forth. We have come to a point where it's anger, which I understand that, there's a lot of people for everything that has happened, they're angry, you know, but yet and still to lash out for someone that is helping you or in the same boat as you is unproductive, and with these situations, I look at these black colleges, historical black colleges. Are you teaching these people, these black Americans, that Moors or slavery was created by really the black man, the black Africans? Are you addressing the issue of black on black crimes and educating these new leaders and so forth? And that's one of the main issues as well, leaders. You know, I look at this propaganda on the internet, basically. Let's say like Al Sharpton, leader, black civil rights leader. He has been a spokesperson, yes, but what makes him a leader? What makes him someone that is able to properly address the issues that, as a black American, we face? Secondly, I'm Indian, and I just learned about the Trail of Tears. I have assimilated, I have mixed kids. So, why do I not have my rights? Why are not my rights protected by judges, police, and anybody in the law enforcement arena? No, they don't. It's a power. It's a corrupting. It's abuse. It's ongoing. And today I'm just, I'm really down. I have my medical issues. Um, my liver is failing. Um, when I was a child, young, my older brother, tricked me into drinking transmission fluid. So I've always had this sense that life, my time on earth is precious. I don't want to really waste any of my time. But I see repeatedly, my time's being wasted. And, I also have a back issue. I fell down some stairs during Desert Storm, and I happen to have a broken bone in my back that is causing, it's like it slips out of place. So it's likened to a slip disc. So I'm understanding now what my mother has been had to face for years, because it's like some pains. It's crazy, and it's hard to explain. Therefore, I'm trying to start a journal, uh, pain journal, to explain to my doctors what's going on. Uh, so for my kids, I wish, um, American Dilemma. That's a book that I came across, and there's other books that are telling us about the way that blacks have been. Like, we have a different standard that we have to meet, and I'm just like, at this point, I'm really not liking America. I really would like to retire in Thailand or Philippines or whatever. I'm told that over there, $1,000 a month, I can give me a nice big house servant, and a cook. $1,000 a month. Shoot. So some stuff. Yeah, I'm paying my taxes here as an American, but I'm not getting my rights. I look at this recent Selma march President Obama has kind of, jumped and got involved in. So I'm really just, not happy with the state that America is in presently. One of my issues is these first generation immigrants, initially in Louisiana, New Orleans area, New Orleans, Jefferson Parish. Uh, we had to deal with Henry Lee, where he came out initially. I can't, I guess, um, speak bad upon the way he handled things, because as a security guard, I knew our events that we threw in Jefferson Parish were kind of like we didn't have really many problems. We weren't going to have those issues that we would have in Orleans Parish. So in retrospect, I'm wondering why Orleans Parish can't learn from Jefferson Parish's example. First and foremost is the accountability. If in Jefferson Parish, if an officer is called on a domestic violence call, both parties involved go to jail. And that's the way I grew up in school. You had to be accountable. Instigators got 1 day, suspension. The people that were involved in a fight or whatever, they got 3 days suspension. So there's something that held them accountable for their actions. But yet and still, I repeatedly see these police. I have like 3 arrests where I was involved in an interracial relationship. My first, and basically, um, and filed, was trying to basically press charges. Um, the officer tried to give me a subpoena. Uh, Basically, he explained to me, he actually explained to me, he went to school with my ex, well, with my baby mother, and he was trying to give me a subpoena. So I was like, no, I know my rights, man. I want to press charges. I have a scar here, boom, boom, bam. You know, she you talked to her already. She stated that she didn't want to press charges, and you're gonna take me to jail. All right, I'm gonna fight this. I'm gonna, take me to jail to where they cover up evidence. Because eventually, they man, I've been to jail in Orleans Parish like several times, and what they would do is they would hold me, and then release me, and then drop the charges. You're taking time away from me, man. You didn't do better research, or better investigation of what you false wrongful imprisonment, you know. And like I said, I'm seeing the stuff bleed over into the judicial system. Whereas I had Judge Gary Uso, Joe Gary Uso. I'm before him for a simple possession charge. The officers basically I remember this officer Gex. This dude looks like the guy from Half Baked, the guy that looked like he was high. This dude, like for me, he looked like he was searching for drugs so he could use them, you know. But I go before the judge, the first time I went before him, he had a case. This white guy, he was in a rental car. They found like an ounce of weed on him, so they dropped the charges because it was a rental car, something, technicality. So I get before him, I'm plead my case and so forth, and then I establish that hey, they wrote me a ticket for no license plate, and then they saw my license plate. They which states that they lied. And uh, eventually it got to the point where I was making them look so bad, the judge stopped the trial and put it on my lawyer to where he write a memo on probable cause. Because I was explaining to them they had no probable cause to even search my car, to go in my car, or to even plant stuff like what they did. The cop planted something in my car, and then takes, it's ridiculous. And like I said, these cops are breaking the law, the judges are breaking the law, and our checks and balances are not working. I learned this in junior high in social studies, you know, judicial system, legislative system, and all these presidential, it's a checks and balance. But yet and still, if we got people that are in positions to check and balance that lack courage, lack confidence in their decisions, you know, we're continually going to, I guess, just de-evolve. And eventually, we're going to have another 9/11, where we can't get along and somebody's going to take advantage of it, or we're going to have these riots like that have been happening throughout for a while, these protestings, this is the most protesting I've seen in my lifetime, you know, with the hands up, don't
As far as my kids, Shelby, baby, I love you, and I'm sorry that your life ended up like it was with your mother. I was hoping that she would eventually learn, being educated, to see the problems that she was gonna, I guess, put you in, the situation that she put you in, you know. But we have these people that don't have accountability. Um, Hunter, Hunter, I'm sorry, dude. Your mother, I said it was wow situation, and I love you to death, dude. You're my first son, and you kind of gave me a reason to live. You definitely gave me a reason to live. You know, Attican, dude. I named you. You were my protege. I thought, basically, I want you to be mini me. I want you to grow up and uh, be privileged, have a life of royalty. Marley, I'm so sorry. I was never, I wasn't at your birth, which I was at the birth of all my kids other than you. The situation really was. Harley, baby, you're my heart. You know, I've been trying to get everything situated properly for you as well, because I expected your mother, to at least do better by you. I got okey doked and coming back here thinking me and Danielle was gonna get back together, once I get here. Well, once I got on the road, she stopped accepting my calls, whereas I used to once Harley called me for my birthday. I set up, and once she told me what she told me, I was like, "Hey, I'm coming. I'm gonna be there, and I love you, baby." And I called every day. Once we get in front of the judge, then this judge basically offered my calls. She didn't ask the nature of my calls. No, I'm calling, like I explained to her, I'm calling to talk to my kids. These are not harassment calls, like 50 calls a day or whatever. No, I call here and call there and leave a message. Then wait for the next call, wait for the next day or whatever, so forth. I wasn't harassing or so, Danielle. But basically, I understand that she's hurt. She's mad that I sent her away. I don't want to be with her no more. Who wants to be with somebody that dogs them out or does them wrong? I got a lot of, like I said, I explained to her. My mother passed in my arms. I did CPR. My nephew died at young. My sister, which I was going through with her, she just like really broke my heart. You know, and I just don't want to put myself in that situation no more. So I wanted to come back and, I kind of rethought it. Really. And I was like, okay, I need to forgive. I need to get over this and do better. So I try, and now the judge puts a restraining order on against me and my kids, Hunter and Harley, and I'm just like, this is wrong, especially a black judge.
you know, especially a black
One of my plans, Omega Sapphire. Um, I wanted to be a cornerstone in my community, like a Mason, um, on the level, and Plum, definitely. I want to be something that is bettering my nation, and that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm sorry for the casualties. I'm sorry for the mishaps that are occurring. And the best thing I could say is, hey, I'm standing up for my rights in order to make America better for you. I love you.